Hello my wonderful friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you guys are new here, then welcome. I would love if you guys would hit that subscribe button, come join us here. It's a good time. Click the little bell and hit all so you can be notified of all my future uploads, and let's dive right in. So I have seen a couple people do this. I've seen like Samantha March that do this. I've seen Angelica Nisovic, I'm not sure how to say her last name, I'm so sorry, I apologize, do this. And this is like ranking the eyeshadow palettes that you have used for the first 6 months of this year, and then they do like an end of the year ranking. So I have like 50 palettes. I'm not sure the exact number, but I think it's like 50 palettes that I have like used or tried since January 1st of this year. So if you guys are excited to see how I rank these, then definitely keep on watching. The bottom palette for me has to be from Shade Beauty, the Parasol palette. It's supposed to be like chameleon shades, and there's like green, pink, purple, and like blue shifts to it. The only way I could really see myself, and I have used it this way, is inner corner. But for like the price that this is, the amount of time it took for me to get this, this is just so underwhelming. It really only shows up in like light. Like when I'm looking at it right now and there's no light on it, it just looks like nothing. And then like in the light, you can see, like see it, like my lights are coming in. Yeah, like you can, this is just very like unimpressive to me. There's just much better out there. Chameleon shades, some of them I will talk about in like later palettes. This is just very underwhelming. I honestly would not recommend this at all. Next up is the Orgy palette from Jeffree Star. I had done a comparing this palette. This is like the older palette. He said the formula was bad. He was coming out with a new one. He did. And I just feel like these shimmers are just so subpar. Like this shade right here, like look, I dug into that and like barely anything is coming off. It feels so hard panned. It's just like really isn't worth it. I honestly think like these are just like absolutely the two like worst palettes that I've tried this year. Never would I recommend it. I would never say go and support that. It's absolutely trash. I'm so sorry. This is not good. All right, also in the bottom category, this e.l.f. Mint Melt eyeshadow palette in the shade Meant to Be. Okay, first of all, this mint shade, like the actual mint shade, barely like shows up. Like, okay, let me like swatch it. You see that? You can barely see it. So just imagine like trying to blend that in, like packing it on and trying to blend it out. It's trash. It's not good. The green, however, that's like here on this outer corner is like very, very patchy. It does show up. So I mean, there's that. It's just like patchy. And then again, like these shimmers are also just like not super soft. You really have to like dig your finger in there to get a little bit of payoff. I mean, granted, I know it's like, but it's $3. Okay, I get that like, you know, affordability, but they make much better ones, and I will talk about other ones that are much better than this, but don't get that one. That one's trash. Next up is the Kylie Jenner, what is this, Cheetah palette from her like Go Wilds collection or whatever. I feel like a lot of these shades, weren't even like true. So like here's the shade right here called Cool Cat. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be a brown. It literally looks like a mustard yellow when you put it on your lid and blend it out. There's a glitter in here that I absolutely hate. It's not a good glitter formula. This black right here literally turns into a very light gray. I'm talking like lighter than this. This is like a bluish gray, and I really wish like that wasn't put in here. I'm just kind of like, we could have done something better. I don't know. I just feel like the quality, the price point that this was, I just expected something a whole hell of a lot better. This just was not good. I am sorry. If you like this, go you, more power to you. Here's the thing, if you like any of these palettes that I'm ranking in the bottom, or some of the top palettes you think should be in the bottom, that's okay, guys. Makeup is subjective, okay? It's not, we don't all have to have the same opinions, okay? Makeup is kind of like coffee. Some people like their coffee black, some people like lattes, some people like frappuccinos, okay? Like it's not a big deal. But for me, this was just a no. Next up on the list is another mint palette from e.l.f. Again, it's just okay. I know it's $3, so it's like for the price point, it's there. I just struggled getting the shimmers to again show up. This brown is actually fairly good. This like lighter brown. This darker brown does tend to get a little bit patchy, and I think that's just like a common consistency across like the e.l.f. Mini palettes, is that they're pretty good. They just take a lot to work with, and I know it's like, well, you paid $3. Fine, fair enough, but I just would rather pay a little bit more for a more consistent palette than that. This palette from Lorac, okay, it has been a little bit abused, and I will say like the quality is good, but the reason why it's ranked so low is one, the color story. This is just very much when you are wanting a smoky eye, a smoky, cool toned eye, this is something that you would reach into, and it's going to be very deep and pigmented. It's not going to be something very like light and subtle on the eyes. This is something you're going to reach into when you want like a bam in your face, smoky, sultry, cool toned eye. And just for me, like I'm not doing a whole lot of those. That's not something that I'm trying to do every day. I might do those like once in a great while. The shimmers are kind of hit or miss. Some of the shimmers are like really good. Some of the shimmers are more topperish. And I feel like there's a lot more shimmers than there are mattes. And it's okay. I think the quality is nice. Next on the bottom is the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum palette. This is a fine palette. The reason why it's ranked so low is one, this is expensive. This is like almost $30 for this little thing. So like no. This is like a one-trick pony. And what I mean by that is really you're just going to get the same look over and over and over again. So for me, when I want something where I can create different looks, you know, it's not going to be the same every single day. And I felt like no matter what shades I went into, what combination I used, it just felt the same. And I don't really want to reach into something or put it into a Shop My Stash, which I had done, where literally the look is just constantly the same. ColourPop Meant to Be palette. Okay. This is not a bad palette. Like the quality is good. I think like just like for me, I just only care about these two shades. And when I look at the rest of this, I'm just kind of like, ew. Like these colors are so ugly. Like they're not even cute, and they're not like extraordinary. I don't know. I don't know. I look at this color story and literally the mattes and everything else except for these two shimmers are just very underwhelming to me. Quality is fine. You know, it's ColourPop quality. It's fine. I just wish it was, I don't know, like a different color. I don't know. Like a different color story. It's just all that I wish. Next up is the Jeffree Star Blood Money palette. You know, I don't really dip into a whole lot of greens. I will say I was very happy with the look that I created, but I don't really care. There's a couple of things. One, a lot of their shimmers are very like topperish. Like here's the shade Money Heist. It's very like a very topper kind of shade. And then you've got like Divine Intervention, again, another very topperish shade. I did have a few issues with some of the mattes, and also I just don't support Jeffree Star. I used to be like a huge Jeffree Star ride or die fan, but then just some things came to light about him that I personally just like don't jive with. I don't mesh with my views, and so I just don't really support him. And so when it comes to like getting like a lot of use out of it, I'm not going to be getting a lot of use out of that palette. And again, I just don't really fully support him. So that's why it's ranked so low. Okay, next up is this Nubian Royal palette, this purple palette. Okay. Number one, I hate their glitter formula. It's just not a good glitter formula. Okay, it just like stays in one area and like it's so hard to get off. Like I've never had a glitter that's like so hard to get off. And then like the two other options for your shimmers are so dark. Like look how like light these two purples are in comparison to like these mattes or these shimmers. My bad. These shimmers. I just wish that there was something lighter, like one of the, like this one or this one. You know, I don't really care which one, honestly. Could have been a lot lighter. Like I don't think we needed two really dark purples. But I think the quality overall is decent. But again, I really wish there was like another shimmer that was lighter, not this glitter. I don't know, just something overall. So when I open this up, I'm just like really not inspired to use this for those reasons alone. Next up is the Dominique Cosmetics Now or Never palette. This is a relatively expensive palette. It's not a cheap palette. But like the shades are like literally almost like as big as like my thumb. Like my thumb covers them up. You have one glitter in here. And then the other shimmer that you have is like this shimmer right here. And again, it's like a topper. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, come on. No. But I will say like the color story is absolutely beautiful. This is 100% my color story. The mattes blended out perfectly. There was no issues whatsoever. I just wish like instead of the glitter, maybe put like a more impactful shimmer, because this is like a very much like a topper. So that's why it's ranked so low. And like the fact that like the price for this and the size of this, I feel like don't combine. Like they don't make sense. So that's why that's ranked. The next one is going to be the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights. This is obviously, you know, I'm not really huge on companion palettes, but like these are so buttery, soft, and like metallic as all get out. Like these are stunning. I mean, if you're into companion palettes and you can actually remember to reach into them, because I think my issue is that I can't remember to reach into them, I think you will absolutely love this palette. Definitely one of those like don't walk, run to go get it. If it's definitely something where you want a very metallic lid shade, like I mean like bam in your face metallic, go run and get this. But again, for me, I just can't ever seem to remember to use companion palettes. And so that's why it's just ranked a little bit lower, just because I just can't get use out of it. This is from Copacetic. Their shimmer formula is beautiful. They have like some duochromes. I just hate the flaky shades. These are shades that are so just like, one, hard to get on your finger, first of all. Like here I am digging into this and I can't get a damn flaky shade. Okay, and then it's just like so, you see that, chunky. And I hate it. I went on their website and like, you know, went onto their thing to see like how best to use these. And I don't care how I use these. I don't care, you know, whatever. I just hate them. But the rest of their shimmer shades are like, I don't know, out of this world, mind blowing. Like it's beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Next up is from the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop palette. This is the Bubblegum. It's a blue palette. The quality is great. Like the quality is there. Like this is great for the price point. I mean, it's $18, so it's like a little bit expensive for BH, honestly. But like the quality is like 100% there. I mean, like look at that. Beautiful. The reason it's not ranked any higher, and literally it is for this reason alone, I do not wear blues. I know I played with blues when I tried out this collection, and I will link that down below. But blues terrify me. Blue is like the one color where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not trying to use that. And so that is probably like the only reason that it is ranked as low as it is because like color story wise, this is not my color story. I wish that it was, because like the quality is like there, but blues just aren't my thing. Next up is from Profusion. I'm just really honestly going to clump all of these together. This is the Mirage palette. It's nice. I just wish, one, there wasn't any glitters in it. Two, I wish that there was a little bit more deeper options. Like it just seems like this whole half of the palette is like nothing but light options with like a few deeper options, but definitely not deep enough for some deeper skin tones. But I will say, like, the quality isn't bad, especially for the price. Like, this is $10 at Walmart, and you get, like, 35 shades. 35 shades, right? Yeah, 35 shades for, like, $10. And the fact that, like, okay, it's 35 shades, right, for $10. And, like, but the quality is there. Blows me away. So that's why it's ranked where it's at. It's not ranked any lower. because like I feel like for like the quality and the price point, it's there, but it's not just any higher, just because I really feel like they could have been a lot more inclusive with their palettes and get rid of the glitters, because their glitters are trash. Okay, next up is from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the Nudie 2. This is fine. Quality wise, you know, I think it's fine. I just think like for me, it's just very basic and it's not anything wowing. Like when I open this up and I look at it, I'm like, I'm not wowed. I'm not inspired. There's nothing about this where I'm like, yeah, I have to absolutely use this. And the quality is like, okay. You know, it's not as pigmented as the others. So I feel like deeper skin tones are really going to have a tougher time using this. And again, I'm just not inspired. Next up is also from Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian Glow. I was surprised at how much I liked this. The look that I came up with was absolutely beautiful. You do only get 2 mattes, so that's one downside. You also get a glitter, which is another downside because I don't really care for their glitters. But I do like the range of tones for their shimmers. I think that that's nice. I mean, you could really just use like this shade all over and top with one of the shimmers, use this shade all over, top with one of the shimmers, use a look together. I mean, you could do, you know, a couple of different things. I just feel like there's not enough variety in here, truthfully, for like what you get. And then the glitter is kind of crap as well. But overall, I was really impressed compared to like the purple palette, and I really thought I was going to like the purple palette more, so I'm like wildly surprised that that's not the case. But there's just some things that I would change, and again, this is not like a color story that I'm going to be reaching into a whole lot. Okay, next up is the Lilac You a Lot palette. This is absolutely beautiful and stunning. I used this recently, and then I just like fell in love with it all over again. It is beautiful. But I will say, in terms of like purple palettes that I own, I don't think the quality is as good. Again, purples are hard to formulate. Okay, guys, they're just hard to formulate. But I just don't think the quality is there for as much as like the other purple palettes I have in my collection. So although I wish I could rank this higher, it's just, I'm just not as in love with it, I guess. I will say like, it's definitely a very beautiful color story, one that I reach into, one that I'm impressed with the quality, but just compared to like other palettes, I just don't feel like compared to the other palettes, the quality is not as there, and I prefer my other purple palettes more. All right, next up is the Sweet Shop Orange Sorbet. Again, quality, spectacular, there, love it, nice, soft. I mean, like, bam, in your face. I'm just not, again, wearing a whole lot of oranges. I just feel like super, super warm, or like oranges and yellows almost make me look sick. Like, not in like a, oh man, girl, you looking sick, girl. I'm talking like, honey, you need to go to the doctor. Like, are you okay? Did you get the flu? Do you have COVID? Should we swab you? What kind of swab should we do? Like, that kind of a thing. And that's not a vibe that I'm going for. I would say like if I could pull it off, this would definitely be ranked higher because the quality is there. But just for me and the color stories that I like, and the fact that this just really does make me look like I'm sick, like using these colors do, is why it's ranked a little bit lower. Next up is the Copacetic Cosmetics Enchanted Garden. The reason why this is ranked as low as it is, because let me tell you, I love this palette, is one, there's only one matte. Two, there's a flaky. And I hate the flakies, and this is $20. This little thing right here is $20. And the fact that for $20, I only like 3 of the shades, it's just not worth it to me. That makes these like over these 3 right here would be like over $6 a shade. Altogether it'd be like $5 a shade, but F this. So like, it's like over $6 a shade. And although I like them, I just don't think that they're over $6 worth a shade. All right, let's just keep making our way through this. So next up are these like e.l.f. bite-size shadows. I will say for $3 for these more neutral ones, which is why I'm lumping them all together, they're decent. I don't think they're incredible, but I think that if you are on a very tight budget, you're a beginner on a tight budget, I think these would be good starter palettes. I would say if you're more experienced, you can totally like skip these if you're looking for something with more pigment, not something you have to work as hard, you know, to build up. Skip these, which is why they're ranked so low. I think that they're like okay, they're decent. They're just like not like something I'm like hooting and hollering about. Next up is from Believe Beauty. This is like $5, and I really feel like the quality is there, especially for the shimmers. I feel like the shimmers is like what like really like steals the show. The mattes are nice. They're nice and soft, and they are, you know, fairly pigmented. I think color story wise is like the only thing that I really have an issue with. I just feel like, I don't know, some of the colors, like matte wise, are kind of like all over the place. Like you've got like this like taupe kind of, a light taupe kind of shade that barely shows up. Then you've got like an orange, and then you've got like this like deep purple. I just think that the matte options could have been a little bit better. I think the shimmer options are fine. I just think like the matte options could have been better, but for the price point and the quality, that's definitely there. So I would say, again, if you're a beginner, limited budget, this is definitely a great option. And even if you are experienced, I would say it's a nice option. I feel like this would maybe be more of like a companion necessarily than just by itself, but overall it's a good palette. Next up are these Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes. I would say that, like, for me on these palettes, it's really like the mattes that kind of like wow me the most. The shimmers are good. Like, here's the thing, like, as cheap as these are, like, I think they're like $4 for like the 9 pans and like $2 or $3, something like that, for like the 5 pans. I think that's totally fair. I think it's totally worth the price. I would definitely say that's like a beginner friendly palette. I really like these. Like, I feel like if I want like a nice drugstore option, these are great to go in with, and I'm not disappointed, and I don't think like you guys will be disappointed in them either. These I Heart Revolution Mini Tasty Peach, this was pigmented. Holy snikes. And I feel like the mattes went together. The shimmers are absolutely like beautiful and stunning. I just wish that maybe there were like a couple more mattes or another matte or two just to add some more diversity. But like, this was like $10, $8 maybe. It was pigmented for $8. Like, this is hellaciously pigmented, and I think I got this on sale even, like half off. So like, if you can get this on sale for $4 or whatever, go and purchase this. But if you're like, I want a nice pigmented palette, and these are definitely like colors that are like way up my alley, go run and get them. Next up is the Elysion palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. I love the formula of this. I love the little chameleon shades. Like, these are the chameleon shades that like the shade Beauty should have been. That's what the quality should have been like for them, but instead it was just crap. But like, these are not terrible chameleon shades. These are beautiful. Definitely like, there you can see them without a light hitting them. And then like the matte, the pigmented mattes, they're buttery, they are soft, they are pigmented, they are blendable. The reason why this is ranked a little bit lower is just because like, I look at this color story and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, what kind of look am I going to create? Like, did somebody just like vomit and this is what we came up with? Like, just vomited colors? I don't know. I don't care for the color story. All right, next is this Perception palette. This is like actually like a really nice palette. I would say that like these very like bright and like supposed to be vibrant colors don't appear so on the lid. It took a lot of building, a lot of working, and even then I did not get it up to the intensity that I wanted. And then these shimmers are like, they're duochromes, but they're more like toppers, and I was hoping for something else. I was hoping like for a bam in your face kind of a shade, and like when I did my look, like I eventually got something to like come together. I just wanted it to look a lot different. I will say like the deeper shades are definitely very pigmented. Those are easier to work with. It's just like the lighter, more neon shades aren't as pigmented. And then like the shimmers, I was just kind of slightly like disappointed. I really wanted like a bam metallic duochrome in your face, or these are just definitely more like toppers. I don't think this is like a terrible palette, but for $40, I was kind of hoping for more, which is why it's ranked lower. But this isn't like terrible. It's not like one of those where it's like, yeah, I need to pass this on to somebody else because it's crap. But it's just, I just wanted more from this. Up next is this ColourPop The Child palette. This is kind of like more of like a green color story that I'm more into. It's got like the more like grungier tones in here. Super easy to work with. I have never watched anything Star Wars or The Child or whatever, but this is like a very beautiful, easy, beginner-friendly, working with greens kind of a palette. I do like the artwork though. Like, even though I'm not really for sure what this is supposed to be, it's still cute. Like, it's cute, right? Just like some of my other palettes more. But I mean, this is cute and it's very beginner friendly. So if you want like a very like beginner friendly green grunge palette, I would say definitely go and like check this out. I think they still like stock this occasionally. It may even be in stock right now. I don't know. Okay, up next is this Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette. Okay, this was $129. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, and you know, Natasha Denona normally has like a really like a nice formula. Okay, the only like shimmer options in here were supposed to be like trio chromes. These are very much more like duochromes. I don't really see a whole lot of like the trio chrome in it. So that's one reason it's ranked so low. And the second is like this works for me and my skin tone. But like for like deeper, darker skin tones, I'm just sitting here wondering like, how is this going to work for you? And like that sucks, because if you really wanted like a trio chrome palette, and let's say these were trio chromes, like how are you going to create a look that's going to show up? I just feel like there really could have been a lot more thought put into this and a lot more diversity put into this than there is. And I wish that the trio chromes actually looked like trio chromes. These 100% look like, I don't know, like duo chromes to me. But this is ranked higher because like when I create looks, it is beautiful, out of this world, stunning. I get compliments on it. So that's always nice. So that's why it's ranked higher, is like the quality is good. The shimmers like are very like impactful in your face, even though they're not really like, they're not really trio chromes. But the reasons why is why it's ranked where it's at. It's not ranked any higher, but it's not ranked any lower either. Up next is this Pure Times Raw Beauty Christie. I just used this in a Shop My Stash. I absolutely love this. I love that there's colorful on one side. I love that there's neutrals on another. I love that each side gets a mirror. I love that like this is like brown, so you know it's neutral. This is like reflective in different colors, so you know that that's the colorful side. I love all about this. I have gone ham on this palette. It's ranked lower because there are a few things that I would change about it. Like one, like I would get rid of this pink shade and add in like a more cooler brown that's a medium tone between this and this. And I would get rid of this yellow because we already have a yellow, and maybe add something else to it. I don't know. But overall, I was very happy, very impressed with this palette. Again, but the fallout is just god-awful. Like, it is bad. Like, the fallout is terrible. Like, I'm okay with fallout, but this was, like, bad. Like, awful, awful. And so that's just the only reason why it's ranked at where it's at. Up next is the ColourPop Boudoir Noir palette. This is, like, a very just, like, grunge, fall, Christmassy kind of a theme, which is, I get that's when it came out. It's very beautiful. My issues with it are, one, it has a glitter, and two, there's so many like mattes with like glitters in it, and like the glitter doesn't disappear. It just falls all over the face and stays there, and I hate that. I wish we could move on. And then I also wish that like for like their shimmers, there was something a little bit more like green. I don't know what I'm wanting, like a more olive kind of like shimmery green to go with these tones over here. And there's just not, but overall, like, I think it's fine. I think this is a relatively good palette. I'm always impressed with, like, the looks that I come up with. This is definitely, like, a grunge green palette I would go for, like, New Year's or something like that. The artwork is also just, like, very beautiful. The quality is there. Next is the Huda Nude Light palette. I overall loved, like, the looks that I came up with. I think the shimmers are nice. The mattes are nice as well. I just feel like, so instead of this being a one-trick pony, I feel like this is like a 2 to 3 trick pony. And I mean, it's only like a 9-pan, so it's like, that's fine. But I know it's like, this is made for like light skin tones, but I just wish some of the shades were a little bit more vamped. I feel like these 3 shades right here are both just so light that they almost kind of look the same on the lid. like once you blend it out, like one, this doesn't show up at all. So this is like a good lid setting shade. But like these two right here, I feel like are just so light and they require a lot of building. And they just almost look the same. So I feel like we could have like done away with one of these and made like a little bit more of like a deeper, darker kind of a tone. Like I know we have a dark shade there and this is like a medium shade. I just feel like maybe we could have done something like very rich and very pigmented, but I mean, overall, I'm happy with this. I love the looks that I create. The formula is easy to work with. The shimmers are amazing. Bam, in your face. So yeah, I was really happy with this as well. Next is the Give Me Glow Sweet and Sticky palette. This, I know this is a Give Me Glow. The shimmers are like the winners, the stars of the show. Like they are bam in your face. Give Me Glow does not play around with their shimmers. It is beautiful. It is stunning. The reason why it's not even ranked anywhere near the top 10, well, I mean, it's kind of towards the top 10. Like, we're getting closer to the top 10. It's just because I really don't think I needed this in there. Like, I feel like we could have gone with a different tone. And then this shade right here is patchy. Like, I thought maybe it was, like, the primer, the eye primer that I was using. But I've tried, like, other tried and true eye primers. And this shade right here is just patchy. And the fact that like I don't really care for this shade and this is patchy, that literally leaves me with two mattes with two shimmers. And to me, like for the price that I paid for this, it just wasn't worth it. But like these shimmers, like fuck me sideways. Next up is the ABH Norvina palette. I have gotten so much use out of this over the years. I mean like a ton of use out of this. This is very beautiful. You can create tons of looks. You can create, I mean, just like tons of different looks. You have tons of like shimmer. These are all shimmers. These are all your mattes. They are beautiful. They are pigmented. They are, you know, blended. They blend out easily. The shimmers are, you know, they're nice. They're very buttery, very creamy. And I just feel like for a very nice, like neutral, everyday eye look, this is something that I could easily reach into. I hate the packaging, like this velvet, because it is dirty. Look how dirty that gets. I mean, it's just like, it's atrocious. But overall, like, I think like this is beautiful. I maybe would have picked, like, instead of having this in here, maybe like a different lighter transition tone. Just because I feel like for like my skin tone, a lot of these are a little bit too dark for a nice, good transition. So I maybe would have switched those out. Next up is another BH Swoop Shop palette. This is the Cherry on Top palette. This is a red. Again, the formula is there, but the reason why I just don't rank it quite as high is one, because I don't really use a whole lot of reds, but two, these two shades look so very similar. And then this shade right here is just so light. I think that like, instead of having these two shades in here be so similar, just like pick one, like pick this one and like switch that out for something that's like in between these two shades. But like the shimmers are like, yeah, it's such a beautiful palette. I don't wear reds a whole lot, but when I do, I am reaching for that palette to get my reds out of, because it is just beautiful. It is stunning. I'm so happy with it. Is the Sweet Shop Pistachio palette. So I had given this kind of like a negative review. And honestly, I'm still not giving it like the greatest review. Like I'm not raving about it like Teresa is Dead. But I really feel like I have to have a white base for it to like show up as pigmented as I was wanting it to. And like in swatches, I don't know what it is. Like in swatches, they look so beautiful and so pigmented. Again, like, but those shimmers are also just like beautiful in your face. So those are definitely some winners. I don't know. I'm just not riding home about it. And I really like greens. Like I'm really into greens. I'm just not really riding, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just not as good of a quality as I was hoping. Next is from ABH. This is the Amrezy palette. Again, absolutely stunning. Great neutral palette. This shade right here called Barb, I could literally just like use every single day. It is like this purplish pink champagne kind of a shift, like a little bit of like a green to it. Stunning. The rest of these are stunning. I would have ranked this a little bit higher had there not been like two glitter. One, I would have got rid of these two glitters. Two, I probably could have done without the shade Wasted. And honestly, probably could have got rid of the blue. I don't really feel like we needed the pop of blue. And then moved these two up here. And then added just like a couple more mattes because these are very deep mattes. And I think it would be nice to add something just like a little bit lighter, maybe like a lighter pink or like a lighter beige, or like add both of these palettes to talk about is the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I absolutely love this palette. I find it absolutely stunning and beautiful. I just wish that like instead of this shade right here, which it looks purple on camera, in person, I think it's supposed to be like a brown purple shift, but I'm here to tell you it really barely shifts on the eyes. So I wish like instead of that shade being there, we had like a different, like a more definitive purple. That's because like these two shades are matte and you get like a pink and a champagne and then like a brownish purple, when I really wish it just would have been just a plain purple. But like the quality is there. I love the looks that I create. This is easy to travel with. It's easy to just like pull out, do a quick look, be done, and then just choose a shade. But again, I just have to rank this a little bit lower just because I wish that this was like a solid purple, not like a brown and purple, but just like a solid purple. And that's the Cotton Candy one. Okay, this is my color story. These shades are my jam. These shimmers are, again, like, I mean, just like out of this world beautiful. The reason why it's not ranked towards the top, because let me tell you, this could have easily have made it into my top 10, is just because I find the purples to be a little bit patchy. Not saying you can't work with them and that it's just like a, oh no, it's patchy, I can't get this to work, it's not gonna work for me. That's not the case. You can definitely get them to work. It does take a little bit of work, which is why I haven't ranked it into like my top 10. But it is a beautiful color story. Those shimmers are absolutely out of this world stunning. And I love, love, love the variety. I love that there's like some pinks, some purples, you know, like you can like combine these two, combine all of them together. You can do whatever you want and it's beautiful. And again, the shimmers just blow me out of the water. All right, guys, time to talk about the top 10 eyeshadow palettes that I have tried these past 6 months. Number 10 goes to the Glamlite Donut palette. I think that like this is like cute. I just don't like how like thick and bulky it is. It's just kind of hard to store and like put things on top of it. So that's one downside of this palette. Another downside being this is supposed to be a highlighter. Okay, I cannot wear this as a highlighter. Like, can you imagine? That'd be way too dark. So I have like this giant shade right here that I can't even use except for like on the lid or the inner corner. So for me, like that's just kind of like a waste. As you can tell, I have hit pan in this shade. This is in the shade Chocolate Sprinkles. This was like one of like my favorite shades. It's like a like warm orange. It's got like sparkles of like orange, green, champagne. Absolutely stunning. That was one of my favorite shades. Another one of my favorite shades is this shade right here called White Chocolate. It's like a duochrome, which is like a purple champagne gold kind of a shade. Absolutely stunning. And then you get 4 mattes. And so maybe, I don't know, wish like instead of this being like a highlighter, like maybe that being like a large like transition shade, kind of a brown, I don't know. And then like, I feel like the other shimmers are like, I mean, they're decent, they're good, like, you know, they look beautiful. It's just not as impressive as that White Chocolate. So really when I used this palette, I literally used it to put some mattes around, and honestly the mattes kind of like these two shades look very similar, so I think we could have changed that up. But I just, you know, threw some mattes around and honestly either went in with this or this. Like I barely even touched the rest of it. So that's probably why it's ranked number 10 instead of up any higher, because let me tell you, these two shades right here, if they had something a little bit different and a little bit more like enticing about it, absolutely. And then this being like a giant shade that I can't even use was kind of sad. Number 9 is my Natasha Denona Love palette. Now this is a beautiful palette. This has the pinks, this has the purples. They have a wonderful mix of shades, and then they've got like this silver that is like, okay, that is like a beautiful like robot silver. It's really hard for me to find like a silver that I am like in love with, but that's definitely one of them. And one thing about it is like it's almost like it's got like a purple shift to it, And to me, like, I love that. I think that makes it like so unique. But I love just like the blendability of these shades, the pigmentation of the shades, the shimmers being like bam in your face. I absolutely love that. The reason why it's number 9 is because one, I either like a color story more or I like the formula more than this. But this is definitely like one of my like top palettes. The formula is there. I open this up and I'm automatically inspired, and I have like a million different ways that I want to go. It's just absolutely like an extraordinary palette. Number 8 is the Juvia's Place Deuce palette. Okay, this is just, I mean, stunning. And this shade right here, Tart, as well as the shade Puffs, like they're so beautiful, and they've got like a shift. The shades are like a pinkish champagne shift, and I don't know, like a pinkish white shift. I don't know, they have these beautiful shifts. And again, they're very nice and pigmented and like bam in your face. Like, see, one's like a purple, one's like a pink. It's absolutely beautiful. This like shade called Macaroons. Oh, I love this shade. This is like my favorite color and like a shimmer. I would change maybe like a couple of things. First of all, get rid of the shade called Berry Mousse. It's really not anything special. It's not anything to write home about. I really honestly think that you could have changed it for another brown color that maybe would have more suited going with like these, because I feel like this just doesn't, like, this is so cool. This is definitely more warmer, and then you have this, and I really feel like we could have gotten rid of that and added something, I don't know, warmer to it to go with the other browns. I don't know. That's the only thing that I would really want to change. Number 7 is my ColourPop Fade into Hue palette. This is a rainbow palette, and I honestly did not think I would love this as much as I do, but I do. I can create like literally just like any look. Like, I can just open this up and I have almost every color of the rainbow option to make a look. The reason why this can't be ranked any higher is because one, it has tons of glitters, and I hate ColourPop's glitter. It is so chunky and thick and just not it. And then there's so many shades with the glitters in it, and I'm just like, can we not do the stupid glitters like in the mattes? Like, please stop. Nobody is asking for this. So I would say that if the mattes did not have glitters in them, and the glitters weren't in here, this easily could have made it to my top 5, because I love that I can just like open this up and just do whatever. I can do a rainbow look. I can just pick a column and, use those. I can combine columns. Like, I just love everything about this, but those two things are just so bad. Like, the mattes, the glitter in the mattes are terrible. The glitters are terrible, that it really did just like bring down this palette quite a few. All right, number 6, before we get into the top 5, is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I love this color story. This is just beautiful, and the shimmers are absolutely beautiful, mind-blowing. And they've got like some like very textured shimmers, kind of more like toppers, truthfully, that really can add to any look. You've got pinks, you've got neutrals, you can add in a pop of like mint. Like, you could honestly do like a pop of mint like in the inner corner. You can like use these and like do like a mint on the lid, and then like add like this topper shades. Like, I am always like so inspired when I open up this palette. I literally open this up and just feel like the most like inspired person in the world. Like, I could just like take on the day, because I know my eye makeup is going to be beautiful. The color story just absolutely speaks to me. The packaging, I know a lot of people like don't like faces on packaging, and usually I'm one of them, but like the reflectiveness of this, like, it's just so beautiful. The mirror is large and absolutely in charge. Did I really just say that? Yeah, whatever. Okay. But it's like large. It's like literally like the size of this. The shades are just pigmented, blendable, easy to use. I think the reason why it's just ranked a little bit lower is just because, like, one, I would have probably taken out maybe like a couple of the shimmer. The reason why it's not ranked in the top 5 is just because my top 5 palettes, like, the formula is just like, I mean, incredible and mind-blowing, and blows it out of the water. So number 5 is the Scott Barnes Snatchral palette. This is just stunning. Okay, beautiful. You've got a wide range. You've got lights, you've got deep. So I feel like this will suit just about any skin tone. Let's go ahead. Let's pull up, swatch some of the shimmers. They're absolutely like beautiful. Like these are like wet, sophisticating looking. Oh gosh, like look at those. They're just wet, they're sophisticated. I feel like this is perfect for any skin tone. You have deep, you have light options. The shimmers, again, deep, light options. You can go light with your shimmers. You can go deep for like a little bit of a smoky eye. The quality is there. The reason why I wouldn't probably rank it any higher is because like it's an expensive palette. Scott Barnes is not cheap. If you know, frequently, you know, check out Scott Barnes' website, or, you know, watch reviewers who, you know, review Scott Barnes products. They're not cheap. The quality is amazing, but I just think for the price point, I couldn't rank it any higher. Number 4 is the last BH Sweep Shop palette to talk about. Future me here. When I say future, I mean like future me. So, my camera battery died, and I did not charge my other battery. So I had no battery, so I had to charge both. So I was like, oh, by the time these are charged where I could even use these, I have to go to work. There's no way I can finish this. So I go to work, and I worked until like 11 p.m. And I was like, nope, there's no way that I can film in the morning. Like it's gonna have to be a few days before I'm able to film, and here we are. Today is the day. If you guys are loving this look, I did do a Trend Mood box unboxing for their Nabla takeover. I will link that video down below. Some good stuff, and for the price, so good. So if you guys want to see what I'm talking about, I will leave that link down below. But I know that I was on to this palette when it died. I don't remember all that I've said, so let's just do like a quick wrap up. The reason this is number 4, number 1, easily able to just create a look. Okay, you could just go in with whatever mattes, you can go in with whatever shimmers, you can go in with one matte, one shimmer, you could go more glam. I am disappointed that these two are really close in shade. I think we could have really have done something a little bit different, but I just love how easy it is. The quality is like wild to me for like, look at that. For like how affordable it is. It's $18, I get it, for like 8 shades. That makes it a little over $2 per shade, but like, wow. Okay. So yikes. My top 3 palettes are all from Give Me Glow. I can't help it. Give Me Glow is so good. If you guys have not checked out Give Me Glow, don't even be like, oh, I haven't checked them out, I'm going to. No, just go check them out. They are so good. I've also got another order from them on the way. Lord, I know. Or I bought another like $200 something worth of stuff from them. It's a problem. Give Me Glow, sponsor me, figure out who I am, like acknowledge that I exist, something. All right, so number 3 palette is the Give Me Glow Grunge palette. Now, this like brings me back to like my high school, middle school, late middle school era. I had like black hair, box dye black hair. Hallelujah, we are back to where we are. But I mean, it was just like box dye black hair, sometimes with like the occasional red or pink streaks in it. Like it's something like that was going on with my hair. And so like I was definitely in like that emo stage. I was. And so like this is like something that like, I don't know, if this was like at the store when I was a kid and I was like, I want to go buy like a eyeshadow palette, like, and I saw this, I'd be like, oh, this is perfect. And like, honestly, like it is. So like the artwork, beautiful. Okay, it has a large mirror. The pan sizes are huge. Like, I mean, huge. Like look at that. Like they're ginormous, first of all. Next of all, this is 100% like grunge emo. Like I can 100% see this. Like I look at this and I'm like, yep, yeah, that's grunge, that's emo. Like, yeah. And then the shade names are so cute. So we've got like Teenage Dirtbag, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Black Hole Sun, grunge, like all the things like you think about when you're emo. And you're probably like, so you're ranking it number 3 because of the nostalgia? No. I mean, yes, but also no. So like I do enjoy the nostalgia, but also I love the artwork. I love the mirror size. I love the pan size. I love the names, and I love the quality. Number 2, let's jump into that. Number 2 is this Vivid Rose from Give Me Glow. I have the vintage rose and I have not tried that out, but this is 100% like my color story. The mattes are pigmented. The shimmers are like mind-blowing, like blow me out of the water. I mean, look at that. I mean, just look at the pigmentations of the matte. The shimmers, again, just like high quality. I get really good compliments with this palette as well. But I think the reason why it's ranked a little bit higher than the other one is, one, because this is a color story that I do thoroughly enjoy. The pigmentation is there. The blendability is there. I get tons of compliments on this. The artwork on the outside, again, it's just absolutely beautiful. Give Me Glow just blows me away. But on top of all those things, because I feel like all the things that I'm saying are similar to that, except for like this is more a color story, is that I can make a wide range of looks. And the fact is, guys, purples are hard to formulate. Okay, if you have been in the makeup world for a while, you have tried purple palettes, they're hard to formulate. And it's just like, okay, purples are hard to formulate. This palette has quite a few like purpley tones, and yet they are pigmented. They blend well. They work well with each other. They don't look muddy when you combine them. It's just amazing, like the quality that Give Me Glow has. Number 1 is not a palette. It's in a palette, but it is not a palette. It is the Give Me Glow Cosmetics Singles. I have to rank this number 1 just because I feel like their best like shimmer and glitter shades are the singles, and I am not even kidding you. I have created thousands, okay, I'm being dramatic, but like I have created like looks, like tons of looks. The singles were in my Shop My Stash one month, and I really use those a lot. I've like made looks here and there because I just want to like dive in, dip into the palette. I have more singles on the way. I have like a ton of singles on the way, honestly. And they're just like beautiful, but like let's just like talk about, they're like multi-chrome shadows, okay? Can you guys see like all like the duo chrominess in it? So you have Electric Unicorn, which has like a purple, pink, green type of shift. I feel like it really does look more green. Then you have Ballerina Slippers, which is like a periwinkle with like a very like purpley pink kind of a shift. And then you have, and I can't think of what this is called. Oh yeah, it's like mermaid something. And this is like blue with like a per indigo, I guess I would say, teal kind of a shift. So that's what you've got. And these are just mind-blowingly beautiful. They are amazing. Their shimmers just like in general are amazing. Like let's just swatch like a few of the shimmers that aren't duochromes just to give you guys like an idea of like how amazing these are. I mean, see, the pigment is still just like there. It is beautiful. It is stunning. The mattes are also super, super pigmented. All right, friends, that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, leave a comment down below. What are some of your like top palettes that you have tried this year? I want to know. I want to know in the comments. What is your number 1 palette that you have tried so far or used so far this year? Number 1 palette. Don't forget to hit the all bell so you guys can be notified of all my future uploads. Hit that like button again because that helps me out. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.